super excited. We got a special guest up in the Hizane sitting in this.
Hey, what's up, people? I'm Smyth. Some people might know me as DJ Spinitch. I've been on KWVA for a little over 2 years as a DJ, but for all intents and purposes today, I guess I'm Smyth. So
Smyth up in the building.
Thanks for tuning in, y'all.
Yeah. So you've been with KWVA for 2 years now?
Yeah. Let's see, man, maybe 2.5, honestly. Yeah, I think I started fall 2015. So yeah, about 2.5. I actually don't have a regular show right now. Taking a little time off, and maybe I'll be back, maybe I won't. Who knows?
Yeah.
But it feels good to be here now.
So yeah, we're gonna get into some of that in the show a little bit later on. Smyth's up in here. We're just going to be chopping up what he's been working on. Just had a few projects drop. The big project, Breakfast Boys Leisure League, just came out.
Yes.
You produced quite a few, basically, could it say executive producer on the album? Yeah. Congrats on that.
Hey, thank you.
A few months ago, you had Smyth and Estee.
Yes.
That came out. Solid EP, album, mixtape, whatever you want to call it. Labels are less important now than...
I agree.
Yeah, it's kind of come full circle. It's songs, collection of songs that you love and made.
Projects. I think
projects.
That's I think that's a healthy way to describe it these days. Yeah, like you said, it's like who knows what it is. It's just like, yeah, this is a project.
Totally. So Smyth and Estee, and then you got something in the works coming out very soon.
Yes,
on the run for that.
A couple things. Yeah.
You want to tell the people about that?
Definitely. In 6 days, this coming Friday, I have something called Com Postables. It's a beat tape series I'm putting out. This is the very first volume of it. It's called Jungle Scraps. And basically, the idea is to clear my hard drive and to compost my beats, if you will. So
nice.
Basically, it's kind of a concept thing where it's like my throwaway beats, but they're compost, so they're like good throwaways. They're like
something could grow, and something could grow from them.
Something could grow from it, exactly.
Oh, wow.
That's kind of the ethos behind it. It's just it's one, to just clear my hard drive, just to sort of like I don't know. I've been holding on to too many beats. I make beats all the time, just all day. So I have hundreds of beats just sitting on my hard drive, and if they're just sitting there, and only I get to listen to them. I don't know. I want to share.
If they're good,
beats.
if they're quality,
right? And I'm only one person, so I don't have enough like resources / MCs. I know people who do things with the beats. I know to like necessarily put them towards projects right now. So the idea is just to give them out to the world and just release them so that they can be heard.
Yeah,
right?
If I may, from someone who loves producers myself, and that's definitely what I'm drawn to with hip hop, and my favorite aspect of hip hop for sure is the production. I think beat tapes are an essential part of hip hop. So as a project, that's a dope way to put out a project on your own. And in my own opinion, this is purely subjective, I think it's a little bit doper. If someone puts together a really solid beat tape, that's more respectable in a different way than a solid project. That's just something, that's just what personally I'm drawn to.
Sure.
So,
dude,
I think that's not anything to take away.
Man. Yeah, just as a listener, I love.
Yeah, just as a fan for itself, some of those beat tapes. That's what I could go back to 1,000 times and get 1,000 different things from.
Totally.
Whereas I love listening to someone go through this catharsis and tell their story and sort of go through that with them and have these where I'm yeah, man, I feel like you're speaking to me sort of moments. That's beautiful. But with beat tapes, it creates a life of its own. It is sort of I like this compostable idea because it really things can grow from it. Yeah. And as a fan, I've seen that for myself with beat tapes.
Hey, yeah, no, absolutely, man. And I think I like that you bring that up because a lot of listeners don't really understand it on that level too. You know what I mean? A lot of people and this isn't necessarily a knock, but a lot of people understand beats as sort of like half a song. You know, they think there needs to be lyrics attached to it. And I don't know. I come from the school where it's like, I think a beat could speak just as much as an MC can. If it's, you know, if it, you know, makes you feel a certain way, I think that's all it is. It's just vibration, you know. It's just emotion channeled through sound. You know what I mean? So,
and I think there's like two types of beat tapes out there. I think there's like beat tapes where it's like beat tapes, and then there's like beat tapes where it's instrumentals, where they sort of stand on their own and they don't need that like extra element.
Totally.
And yeah, I mean, yours is a solid project. I gotta say, like, I was checking out this the beat tape today, and it definitely falls into that latter category. Like, went into it not knowing, like, sort of that's kind of automatically when I'm listening to a beat tape, I'm like, okay, this is like beats which are dope, but like I'm waiting for that other half kind of, or like it satisfies the whole aspect of what I want a song to be on its own. And yours definitely fell into the latter without having like too much overdoing it. Like it still left room for that growth, or you know, people to do what they want to do with it.
Oh, definitely. Which is cool. No, I can sort of break that. I think that's like, you know, that's a compliment. First of all, like, thank you. And like, I think I try and do that, you know, like it's definitely, these aren't just like random beats scrapped together. I want this series to be like, I want each one to be like a project. I never like to just like throw out anytime I put out a collection of songs, I hope it's not just like a random smattering of songs that I just kind of threw up there, you know, like, and no disrespect to people who do that, because I feel that style too, you know, like I think Madeline puts out a bunch of stuff like that, knowledge, you know, they'll just like throw them out there, and I love that. But like when I sit down to make something and make a project, I really like fall in love with the process of like making it have some like cohesive elements that tie it together, and developing a sound and creating like a sonic experience throughout the listening. So like the idea with Com Postables is like each volume will be like a different sound, and then like the titles of each song are like different compostable items. So, you know, I had like, you know, there's like plantain. It's all jungle themed.
Okay.
Like things. So it's like white pitahaya is like, you know, a fruit you'd find in the jungle. And that's like a, you know, the compostable item. And then, you know, the next volume will have a different theme.
Yeah.
You know, it might be like soul food or something, or like, you know, different things. And then those would be my like soulful beats. Cause I don't like make one type of sound. You know, some producers really have like their lane and their like character sound. I'm still just exploring like, you know, the plethora of vibrations and sounds I can get out there. You know, I listen to a lot of different types of music and get inspired by a lot of different types of stuff. So you know, I make some people know me for my soul beats, but like, you know, this tape will have a complete this one that's coming out Friday has a way different.
It's got some surprise bangers on it. It definitely got some surprise bangers where you go like, ooh. Yeah.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
So do you feel that like not having a certain sound that you like just automatically are just that, where you're automatically making it? Do you feel that like not having a certain sound like limits you in certain ways, or do you feel that it like leaves room for you to do more things because you're not tied to one thing?
Right.
For yourself.
Sure. No, I feel like it definitely leaves room to be able to explore. You know, I don't know. There's certain things that I do generally consistently, like certain elements of my sound you could kind of trace across, you know, a rough dotted line maybe. You know, like I'm not like, at least yet, I haven't made like, you know, glitch music. It's all sort of under like a hip hop veil maybe. Yeah. But like I experiment with different tempos and different feels.
But I mean, people who know hip hop know how like varied, like even if you're in that boom bap, like how varied even that can be, you know, because like you were saying, it could be soul, or, you know, even now you could have like these like 808 times, but it's still boom bap, but you're using like 8, you know? So
Sure. No, absolutely. And I think like, you know, generally my stuff has a pretty boom bap feel. That's what like I gravitate towards, like, you know, instinctually. That's just like what, you know, strikes me the most, what I, you know, tend to pump out the most. But, you know, I definitely play with the meter, and I try and, you know, do experimental stuff with drums. And I think you can hear that on this album. There's some weird, you know, vibes and stuff that I don't think like people would characterize as like, oh, this is just like the classic boom bap rhythm, you know? Like,
totally.
I think there's some, you know, even like you said, even within that boom bap veil, there's some like, you know, diversity.
Well, you want to get into it a little bit?
Yes, please.
Let's get into it. Let's do. It's a short little. Let's do the first couple tracks up off the album. We'll let them run straight through, one right into the other.
Dope.
This is Moriche palm fruit.
Yeah,
Moriche. That sounds.
I'm not even positive.
That sounds more right though. Moriche palm fruit going into
how to pronounce these,
Casarini flowers.
Hey.
Smyth up in the building. Shout out to all those listeners out there. This is KWVA Eugene. Thank you all so much for listening. Peace, peace. Yes, y'all. We got Smyth up in the building right now. Smyth on the beats. This is Com Postables Volume 1, Jungle Scraps, coming out next Friday. Smyth up in here. Yeah.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Oh, man. Those were banging.
Hey, appreciate it.
Yeah,
there's actually a little visual that my friend Trevor put together for that last track. It's called Plantain Char. You could find that on my YouTube page. That's youtube.com/C/Smyth Music.
See Smyth, how you spell Smyth?
Oh yeah, Smyth is SMYTH music. Yeah.
CSMYTH.
Yeah. With YouTube, it's weird. You have to get the C in there on the URL.
Okay.
But you could Google YouTube Smyth music and you could find it. Plantain Char.
Plantain Char was that last
That's
song.
Probably an anomalous enough name that
so
would be unique enough.
Totally. Yeah. Those were some great beats, dude. Congratulations on the tape.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
It's an honor to enjoy them and to bump them.
Oh man, it means a lot, man.
Yeah, how does it feel to be putting some of your own stuff? How does that feel?
Putting out a project is like the best feeling ever for me. Just sort of for lack of a better term, on a spiritual level, I think it's just I don't know why, I just have like sort of an innate desire to make these projects, to build these like brain children.
That's awesome.
If you will, and just really put the needle to the grind, and just get something out. I really, and like I don't know, I tend to gravitate towards the album. I don't know why. I just love the album format. It just feels like a big movie or something. I don't know. It's just I like the endeavor of it. I really like the journey and just like the trials and tribulations of building together some big, idea. And some people just like putting out like one song and like Lucy's. I don't know why, but I just gravitate towards the album, and it feels great to be able to share it to people. And also, like I always say this, like we tend to and rightfully so, we tend to talk about a lot of like negatives of like modern technology and just how pervasive it is and how much it dominates our daily lives, which is very valid, but it also has a really amazing grand power, and I would not be able to put out as many projects as I do like even like 10 years ago and get them out to as many people as I can get them out to. So I'm just blessed to have that ability and to have like the amount of listeners I have, even though it's pretty modest at this point, like comparatively to.
How long have you been making music though?
About 2 years.
Like seriously.
Like seriously, right? Sure. About like 2.5 years.
2.5 years. Yeah. So I mean, that's just just sprouting.
Yeah, man. I hope so. I mean, if I believe if anybody, if you just put your mind towards just staying at it and just grinding steadily, like things sort of like unfold for you naturally, So, and that's been true for me with the music so far, and I feel lucky to be doing it.
I gotta say, I was talking to another DJ here, DJ Razorburn, and we were talking about how it's just mad inspiring, how just with your passion for it, and just that you put it out there and you put out what you love.
Hey, I appreciate
it's
that,
definitely mad inspiring, and then on top of that, it's super quality stuff.
Hey,
like
thanks,
it's stuff that you love, but you can tell that you're putting time into perfecting it and to making it something that you want to share, which is from on a fan side, like that's super appreciated. Like it's always the worst when it's like someone they got talent, and you like appreciate their stuff, and then they put out something and you're like, what is this? Like this is not what, like I know you got something more capable. So it's always appreciated when someone's putting out stuff that you can tell that they're behind, that they actually
for sure
are fully behind it.
It's
inspiring.
No, like I appreciate that in people, when I hear when you could tell just like how much, time and effort went into the I'm very inspired by those people. So to get that compliment, that thank you.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah,
so
man.
When you're going into making a new project, do you have an idea going into it, or does it sort of develop through the process? Is it a mixture of both? Like where does that, like being an album lover, how does that influence when you go into making a project?
Right. I'd say so far, at least, and I have some bigger ideas for the future, so this may alternate, depending on where I'm at. But I'd say like generally, I go into it with a pretty blank slate, and I kind of just create to create, starting off, and then it sort of manifests into something generally. I don't necessarily set out like, especially on the day-to-day basis for like making beats and like writing a verse, I'm usually not like, okay, like I'm about to write a song about, this today, or I'm about to make a beat that sounds like super hard today, like super sad. Yeah, I'm not like, I don't necessarily like think about how I'm I don't like, explicitly think about how I'm feeling in the moment and then like create that. I kind of don't.
Just sort of let
I know
happen.
people who create like that, and I think that's really dope. I don't know, for some reason, I kind of just let it like carry me, if that makes sense. I don't like try and force any creative thing. I'll just be like throughout the day, I'll just like write random bars down throughout my day in my notepad. For those who don't know, I'm also an MC. This is an instrumental project that's coming out, but I also am an MC, and I'm working on a vocal project too. But so I'll just be like, writing random bars down, compiling stuff. And it's same with beats. Like I'll just, come up with an idea. Sometimes it's like, it's what it is that day. I'll leave it alone. It's like, okay, I'll leave it alone. I'll come back to it in a week, and it's like, something completely different. I'll get a new idea from it. And it's the same thing with a bigger project. It's like, sometimes I'll kind of have one idea for it, but then like more songs start happening, and then I'll sort of bring the vision to life of like eventually.
Yeah.
But it doesn't like, it's not,
it's
like finite thing where I'm like, okay, this is.
How apart are other people when you're like in the album process? So like the album Breakfast Boys Leisure League self-help book just came out.
Yes.
Congratulations on that as
thanks.
well. Executively produced, if I may,
Correct.
again by
Right,
you.
right.
So that was obviously a collaborative project. So when you're either like making your beats, like how, or writing rhymes and making like just the project as a whole, like every bit of it, like what role does collaboration play?
Yeah.
In making projects.
Totally. It's definitely a big part of what I do. I'm generally making collaborative stuff. Like this tape that's coming out is like pretty much. No, actually, it's not. Like, because like it like most of the beats were made like just on my own, just solo.
Do you kind of like lock yourself in a room and just like not see the light of day and just crate digging and
there's definitely days like that for sure, and I love that, and I have no like shame about just
that's producer culture. I mean that's that's
totally, it's kind of
hip hop as
do.
It is. I mean
absolutely. But no, to what you were saying, like for a decent amount of these beats, there were homies in the room, and we were sort of making it together. And then like like I said, we came up with the original idea, and then like I revisited it later and made changes, and it could have become like a way different beat. Could have had like sort of the same bones, but I added just like a tiny little textures and stuff here and there. But collaboration's huge, man. Like I get so inspired by the people around me, especially just here in Eugene. Like I think there's like really, really brilliant creatives in no matter the medium, like I get inspired by any different artist or anybody who's just really like doing their thing and putting some like, pieces of their like soul out there in whatever, you know, medium and manifestation it may develop into. I think that's, you know, that's so cool, and that's just a big part of what, you know, really pushes me to keep going with my stuff. So
that's beautiful.
But yeah, like musicians for sure, like, you know, Spiller definitely, you know, big inspirations, and they'll like just they're always down with whatever people are doing, and I really feed off that energy because they have no restrictions on genre or like whatever. They're just like down to work with anything. My friend Ian Mullen, he just put out an awesome album, Melgarth. He's a great artist in town.
Super.
Did you check that out?
Super good. I heard their live session on KWVA and was just like blown away.
So dope.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, and those are people who like don't, you know, like necessarily make what like big pretty like far out from hip hop. If you were like, you know, looking at the kind of the conventional spectrum of genre, like people wouldn't say, but you know, they're down with hip hop too. Like we collab on like my more hip hop stuff. I rap on their stuff too. So like, you know, people like that, Sunday Bump, like for sure, all those peeps. My homies in the Ill-Equips, everybody, and everyone comes from a different musical background, makes different stuff, and it's just great. So I would not make the stuff I make. I would not be the artist or person I am without all those people around, like collabing and just feeding off each other.
So this sort of perfectly leads me into a question that like I didn't prepare any questions for tonight. But I had a couple in my head. Exactly. I was just like, I'm just going to go in and freestyle it, you know, and just sort of like feel it out. But I did have like really like one question in particular that I was like, I kind of I'm curious about this.
Sure.
And that sort of leads it perfectly into talking about the bands in Eugene. Yeah. So for anyone who doesn't know, you just graduated from University of Oregon.
Indeed.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome. So how do you feel like Eugene has influenced your music? And then like as a follow-up, like how has it inhibited your music and like maybe prohibited it in some ways? Like what ways, like how has it shaped who you are as a musician and what's coming out? Yeah, I'm super curious.
No, yeah. I mean, overall, like I couldn't ask for like a better place to sort of start developing my musicianship. You know, I just think the people around here are just so supportive and so open-minded and just, you know, just so overall wonderful to be around, to be surrounded by, influenced by, inspired by. So on that tip, can't complain at all. Like I've made some lifelong connections here.
Oh, that's beautiful.
You know, made some amazing, you know, collaborations and friendships and everything through it. So, you know, on that tip, it's amazing. And like, it's hard to say because I haven't lived anywhere else. Like, I don't know what the, you know, opportunities are like that are out there. And like everyone.
Did you grow up in Eugene?
I grew up in Portland.
You grew up in Portland.
So, but I never like made music full time in Portland, really.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting. Like, you know, everyone sort of like fantasizes about places like LA and New York where it's just, you know, they say like you know, people have told me before, like, you got to get out to LA, you got to get out to New York, like, what are you doing? And, you know, and I don't know. I don't necessarily, I mean, it's hard to say because I've never experienced it, you know, so I don't really know what it's like and what awaits out there, you know, necessarily. But as far as like, you know, anything being inhibited, I don't necessarily know, I guess, like, because like as far as I know, like the opportunities around here have been fantastic. Like
that's dope.
This past like since 2018, like I've played a show like I've averaged probably like one show a weekend. Like it's crazy. I feel so lucky to have like there's so many people just trying to do stuff, trying to, you know, make moves and like just, like, you know, like throw down. So it's great as far as I know. Like I think
has
cool.
Eugene always been that way? Do you know?
Man, I hear people. I don't really know. I guess what I get from what people say is like, they say now it's more popping than ever.
Yeah,
but like also
it seems like there's like this creative energy that's bubbling in this town, and like you were saying, all these different genres and different bands are just like, let's collaborate and make this happen together.
Totally.
Which is how a town gets like a really influential music scene, or like it gets a music scene that like is distinctive and unique to that area. Definitely. I mean, that's what happened in like Seattle or New York City. I mean, with hip hop, I mean, and it was hip hop's a little different because it was like people coming together and battling. But even there, it's like you respect this genre, I respect. Not even it wasn't even a genre when it was. It was just like you respect having fun this way and coming together, and like we're both on the block. We got like let's just throw down and like make some moves and try to get some people moving with us. And
definitely.
I mean, DJ. I mean, so that. It seems like that's sort of where Eugene's at.
It feels like that to me. It feels like that kind of creative wave of just it's just a big like mesh of different folks from different places who all are come together, and it's just united around like just wanting to have fun, be friends, and just explore the like creativity and sound and what the different possibilities are out there. Like I feel like people don't really have like any superiority complexes out here, like predominantly, like no one is like, oh, like I'm not gonna collab with them, they're not really like like there's not like that, that little stuff doesn't really come into play. Everyone, we go to Lucky's like every Wednesday.
It's more just about like having fun and making music.
Yeah, man.
Like about the music and not about like popping off. Like I don't know, we all pop
not
off
necessarily.
Together.
No,
seems like sort
and
of
like
we
everyone has their individual aspirations and wants to. But I feel
of course,
sure. But like I feel like people, are living in the moment and just want to get better and want to, have just a good time and make good connections here. So
that's dope.
It feels good, to have like when so we had I threw down the hip hop jam here on campus. I was like part of the planning committee for that, and we had this amazing headliner. His name's Harry Mack. Maybe some people out there have heard of him. He's like this amazing freestyle rapper and a really good dude, and we had him here, and I got to hang out with him for a day and get to know him pretty well. And he was basically saying how in LA he lives in LA, and like collabs for him down there are oftentimes like everyone sort of has this mindset like, okay, yeah, we can collab, but like what's it gonna get me? Like what's this gonna do for me? And he said it was really refreshing to come to Eugene because people like didn't seem to have that at all, have that complex about them at all. It was sort of like, yeah, let's just like collab and see what we can create. Like just like without any like conception of like, okay, yeah, we're gonna create
this
and
gonna get
like
me?
Put this on here and like do this and make all these marketing moves and stuff and like and that stuff can be important for sure. Like I'm not knocking that, but like it is something to be said about just like having it be pretty organic and not too drawn out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So to me, that's what's like the most inspirational is when people are doing it just to do it, and it's about like loving it and loving what you're doing, loving the people around you, and just like, man, I just want to like make moves with like the people I love. Like that's what's up. Like that's the stuff that inspires me, when people just really love what they're doing, and when someone's out there making moves, that can be inspirational, but it's usually, to me, is more inspirational if they're doing it to make moves, that they're doing it because they love making moves. Like that is not about the making the moves. It's still like the love is still in there, even if it's like veiled behind like making moves.
Definitely.
So that's
there's a balance. With it for
people
sure.
gotta.
Like,
this is actually funny because so I kind of want to get into Breakfast Boy Leisure League a little bit.
Yes,
talk
please.
about that a little bit. Yeah. So,
awesome.
I've been listening to it, and like we were talking about singles and such. So like with just technology, how it is, like now I love albums as well, but I'm always like, all right, what's gonna be my favorite song off the album? What's that banger? What's that one that really speaks to me?
What can you put on the playlist and stuff? Or
sure, for sure. Yeah, and I mean, I think that every song's gonna be nice for different parts and such, but. So I'm like listening to it, and the song that really, I mean, there's quite a few that stood out to me, but the one where I'm just like, yeah, I keep going back to is the one about the day job.
Oh yeah, day job doldrums. Yeah,
day job doldrums.
Yeah, cool.
And
I feel like that was a favorite amongst the listeners.
I think it's incredible. Man, I think it's like a really incredible song.
Great, man.
All the way through. I mean, the production is just like top tier.
Man, thanks.
I think the concept of the song is incredible, and I mean the honesty of it is, like it's gonna speak to I think a lot of people.
Totally, man. Totally.
I think it's a pretty deep song. Not unlike that, like trying to be a conscious rapper type stuff, but deep in the sense where like a lot of people can get a lot of different things from it, and there's a lot of ways you could dig into it, and a lot of things that when you dig in it, you could get from it. Like it's not just a one.
Oh, for sure.
Avenue song.
I think that is very true of Brax's writing ability.
Yeah.
Is he can present like deep stuff as sort of simple. He does that really well, and he presents his presentation is really just great, and like you're saying, it's super relatable. But it has sort of like that deeper underlying message that's there, and that deeper relatability that is sort of like beneath just like just like his like sort of like rambling style of bars, where it's just these like random like little instances throughout his day that are just
and
like,
that I mean a lot of the. Yeah, it's a really good project.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I've really been enjoying listening to Self-Help Book by Breakfast Boy Leisure League. Yeah, honestly, like I was like, all right, what am I gonna get from this? Like, how's it? And it's a incredible project. I don't want to, sit there and just, jock it too much. But I'm enjoying it. Is what I'm trying to say.
Thank you, dude. Thank you. We worked super hard on that. We've been working really, really tough on that since about September. So it felt good to get it out to the people. It was a lot of like a lot of just different things we had to prepare to release it, and it took a while to get all the collaborations, get the mixes, the whole thing. It's projects take a lot of effort and a lot of energies from different places. So it felt great to get it out. I think the reception's been really good.
Yeah, congratulations. So far, I mean it's
thank you.
I'm glad it feels good because it's awesome to listen to. It's on the consumer side. It's really fun to take in.
So cool.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of what I look for in a hip hop project. Let's get into it. This is Day Job Doldrums.
And OME rap standard. And for those who don't know, in parentheses on the song title, it's a shout out to Open Mike Eagle. So the hook is actually an interpolation of an Open Mike Eagle song. Wow. That's Brax's favorite rapper. So he wrote.
I'm
this
just in here cheesing right now. That's awesome. That makes it like so much more meaning to this song. That's super dope. That's super cool. All right. Well, this is Day Job Doldrums. Stay tuned.
My circumstances got me nervous because I want to rap for life, but I work for the health insurance. I need pills for my brain disease. Hella homies quit their jobs and that's insane to me. It triggers all my anxieties to watch them navigate with faith, grace, and piety. I want to trade lentils for tape cassettes. I haven't made that leap for a lack of a safety net. I want to move my office to a minivan. My lumbar's already fucked, I don't really give a damn. Living life on the open road is hard to justify making $20 every show. Hey, 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 it is insulting, cause I can't rap for my job. quit this bullshit, but I can't live like a slob the way I want to, baby. Swimming in hip hop, hip hop, hip. I want to sing for you and show you how I rock. So I'm writing songs on my lunch break and long bathroom visits, people thinking that my butt aches. Hear the faint whispers through stall doors while I'm daydreaming about drink tickets and long tours. I wanna rock La La in Illinois. For now I'm content basement jamming with them Spiller boys. Hit the jazz station with the bump, people thinking I'm a chump, but I only messed up once. I got love for my friends, man. Catch us at the groove sessions every single Wednesday. And cypher at the crib until sunrise and pound a cold brew coffee, praying my guts survive. Take a freezing shower to wake up and rush off to work. There's no stopping the day come. Every single morning my eyelids hurt, so help me leave this shit behind and go buy a shirt. Hey, 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 it is insulting, cause I can't rap for my job. I'd quit this bullshit, but I can't live like a slob the way I want to, baby. Swimming in hip hop, hip hop, hip. I want to sing for you and show you how I rock.
Breakfast like a king. My homies gon' be hungry. I won't feel a thing.
Yes, yes, y'all. Yes. So that was Day Job Doldrums.
Yes.
Day Job Doldrums off the freshly dropped Breakfast Boys Leisure League self-help book.
Absolutely. You can get that anywhere. It's on, all the platforms, all the mediums.
Spotify, Bandcamp, iTunes,
Spotify, Bandcamp, iTunes. Yeah, man. It's all out there. So, yeah, check that out. That's the second to last joint on the album. We had a good time making that one. It's a fun one.
How did you guys sort of put together like the track list of it? Like, did you play a big part of that, or was a lot of that Braxton, or like how did the sequencing of it go?
Sure. This is something where in a way like not really, but like we sort of butt heads on the track list because I'm like super into it, and I'm just super perfectionist, super intricate. Like, okay, this song has to come after this song, and we're gonna make this little like da 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 da. And Brax is just like, oh, I'll save that part till the end. Let's save that to the end. We'll think about that later. Let's just like record it. Let's just get it done. And it's cool because we sort of like were able to meet in the middle on that, and I was just like, okay, we're just gonna record. And he was like, okay, if you have this idea, I'll hear you out. And we were sort of able to, just make a synergy and like bring it together. But I mean, it again, like back to what I was saying about how I make projects. It sort of just develops over time, and this is how he does it too. It's funny, this album was supposed to be a 5-track EP.
Oh, really?
Originally. Yeah, originally I was up in Portland last summer just making beats all day, and Brax had asked me to send him some stuff, and so I sent him a couple. One of the tracks, it's called Sad, or SAD. I sent him that back in August, and that was the very first song because he wrote that way back in like last August. And then it just sort of over time kept developing and kept getting more tracks. We kept making more songs. Just it sort of just became a full length, all of a sudden. And so I mean, I think a lot of what we do isn't super. It's not like hyper planned out and hyper like schemed. Like some people, like they're making moves.
Sure,
right?
sure,
Just like But I think a big part of what we do is kind of keeping that, if you will, like a freestyle element to it, where it's just we just sort of like let it develop and let it happen on its own.
Totally.
And, you know, keep it going. So.
Okay, and I feel like I already asked this question, but I want to ask it nonetheless. Do you feel like that having that sort of freedom and not trying to guide it? What do you think that does for the project?
Man, I think personally, I think it helps me so much. Just on the level of being a creative, like I just think, and like I'll be the first to say I'm not that like good at it yet in a way. Like there's still certain things that
like you want to be there and you want it. I see.
Right? Like there's still certain ways that my creation it could be more liberating, could be more free, could be more just like, you know, like I don't know, like
I feel like that might be a little bit of a difference between like a really producer mind and like a really just like MC mind.
Totally.
Totally. Even though both can do both and both work well when they cross over and such like that, like I think that is one of the biggest differences. I've never thought about it before right now, but I feel like that
it's
like
such a thing.
Yeah.
No, like I'm glad you bring that up because dude, that's so real. Yeah, and just it's really real in the sense that like sometimes for like 2 or 3 weeks I won't even want to rap a line. Like I won't even want to like do anything. Like if I have a show, I'm like, dude, I kind of just want to make beats. You know, right now I'm just kind of just feeling beats. Like I do have like, and I'm sure like anyone who does both like can sort of like hear out, you know, can sort of hear out that idea.
Yeah.
And like, man, like, but other times, like right now, I've been writing a lot. I've been really, really writing and really, really practicing and just getting into my MC, you know, style. So, yeah, it just depends. It's cool. It's interesting how it's like it is kind of two different creative sides.
Yeah,
you know?
I totally think so. But I think they both work well together and. Yeah, a lot of my favorite projects are producer projects. Producer MC. I mean, you got Quasimodo, you got Fly Low with Captain Murphy.
Oh, definitely. Man, some of the I agree with you, man.
And I mean, there's
cool
obviously like way more. I mean, then you got, you know, like J. Cole, you know,
Big
and then
Crit,
that's someone
Odyssey,
big Crit. Yeah, so I mean, there's way more, but I mean, that's just like the two where I feel like they're really like producers first coming through, or you know, I mean, you got J-Lib and like they got tracks on that about like we producers now.
Yeah. Right. Yes, Jay Dilla all day. He's a great rapper. And
J-Lib.
Pete Rock, you know, has stuff where he produces and raps on his beats, and it's really cool when it sort of comes from one mind, and you can see how like their MC style, you know, works in conjunction with the style of production.
Totally,
you know? It's a fascinating thing. I hope to, you know, I do it to like I want to reach a level of like, you know, if like mastery, if you will. Like that's like, you know, the longer term goals is just to find like some
get your 10,000 hours.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Put in the 10,000 as good as stuff as I can. Yeah. And just find like myself through it, I guess. You know.
That's beautiful, man. Wow, that's cool.
That's really it. At the end of the day, you know, all the accessory stuff, you know, it's whatever. I just hope to.
Yeah. And I got this like theory that as people find themselves more, that other people will like see that and be able to be pushed in their own direction inadvertently. Like it's something where it's like I don't think that anyone can really like help anyone per se. I mean, that seems so like stringent. Obviously you can practically help someone, but I mean on like a spiritual level, if you will, that it's more
you have to do it yourself.
Everyone's on their own there. But it's like
yeah, totally.
You know, and it's like something that like I've learned through so many things. But it's like when we focus on ourselves, it's like often seen like, especially on the West Coast, I feel like it's seen as like selfish, like, oh, how you ain't like sharing that. And there should be this thing where it's like this sort of like wearing it together, and like I don't want to mess up your bad vibes, sort of, or like bring
Like,
bad
we're
vibes.
being
But it's like
together by you
if I'm
finding
not
yourself,
speaking my
maybe.
truth and I'm not working on myself first, like
Yeah.
there's nothing else I can.
Yeah, then I
can do
can't
beyond
offer
that.
you anything beneficial necessarily.
Completely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
No,
yeah,
completely.
you have to have had the experience yourself, or have something with some like grounding to be
Yeah.
able to offer them. And yeah, I think that's a cool thing that made me think of like there's like an aspect of togetherness in an individual finding themselves.
Mhm.
If an individual finds themselves and finds solace within themselves, then that should be able to unite people in a way.
Yeah, because I think we're all on that
as an
journey of
extension.
finding
Yeah,
ourselves.
right.
So it's like we're like, hey, I may not be able to tell you what really carry you there at all. I'm sorry. I wish I could. I'm not strong enough,
Right.
but I can certainly like work
do
on
what you
myself,
can.
and I have mad empathy for your journey. And I think
Right.
that's what a lot of like art is in general.
It
It's just
is.
sharing that like empathy of like, this is my journey out there, and like this is who I am in my journey. And like all I could do is share it, and
Right.
whatever medium
Man.
that, and like to me art is like experiential. So I mean, it's whatever you're doing to help someone have an experience. I mean, I think that
It's amazing. It's amazing. And yeah, I think art is like such a powerful tool for that reason. It's like you're creating moments in people's lives that you never predicted when you were making it. And I think that's a beautiful thing is like,
Yeah.
you can be helping people through whatever they're going through, and that was not your initial intention necessarily. Like,
Sure.
most people aren't like sitting down writing a song like this is just gonna help people.
I think it's pretty crummy when people do. Like, I think when
it probably will
I
come
hear those
across like
songs,
disingenuous if you
Yeah.
if you're like too intentionally focused on that, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like, but it's crazy. You're creating a moment in someone's life without at all realizing it.
Yeah.
It's an amazing thing, and it's definitely a tool for helping people in
yeah, I think
many
it,
ways.
I think it's really, I think it's really beautiful. Like I think it's like, man,
For
if that like, if it's not beautiful to like share your experience, doing what you love, whatever that may be, and have someone feel a certain type of way from that, then like I don't know what beauty is, like
right.
like if that's not beautiful,
sure.
I don't know what is. And that sort of gets back to like why we gets back to why I love Day Job Doldrums so much, is because
Man.
to me, like, I think, see, I'm getting real heady right now, which is fine though, because that's just
please.
where the conversation's going.
Please do.
Like part of the reasons that I was really feeling this Day Job Doldrums is like I feel like a lot of the problems in the world stem from people not being able to express themselves artistically, and then like consequently not be able to like go through their spiritual journey or like share their spiritual journey, or their spiritual journey that they're on like isn't able to be expressed with others, so then it's limiting others. And that's not just
Absolutely.
like hip hop or music or painting or drawing or writing. Like it's whatever you're doing to express yourself. Like I think that's artistic, and I think that it's unfortunate that people can't do that in this world. And I can't really envision
I
a world.
feel so lucky to have access to it. Like, like I was saying, I have I was born with a ton of privilege and a ton of like ability to, and time and resources to be able to create the way I want to create. And like so many people don't have that option. Or / don't feel like they have that option because they have all this, other stuff that's happening, whether, mentally in the personal life, etc. That's, causing a blockage and they can't work through it. You know what I mean? So I'm inspired by people who want to inspire others to create.
Take that leap.
Right. And I hope to inspire others to take that leap too.
That's dope.
So because I think, like, at least for me, nothing in my life has like helped me more through difficult periods than creating and just like expressing and turning my whatever whatever energy blockages I had, turning it into something that I believe in and feel is, you know, positive and feel is like helping me. You know? So it's very important, I think. In this
do
world.
you find that
No
like,
doubt.
when you're having like tough times, be they whatever they may be, do you find that like helps the music, or like how do you use that with making music?
Yeah, that's a good question. I feel, you know, a lot of people will say like, yeah, the toughest experiences in life make for the best art, you know. And yeah, I think I agree with that. I don't have like, you know, the stats to back that up, if you will. Like I don't, you know, I can't like necessarily prove that. But no, definitely. I mean, I think, I think when I, you know, cause you definitely, when you're feeling that way, you definitely have energy that needs to be released. That you have energy that you're holding in, or and that's just kind of like ruminating inside you, that just, and it's, you know, some negative energy or whatever, you know, or it's something external that's causing the negative energy. So I think it's a huge I don't know, it can be hugely beneficial for me to just, you know, take that energy and be able to sit down and be like, okay, I'm just gonna tune out of whatever is happening, and just tune into myself and do this thing that you know, helps me explore myself in some positive aspect. You know, I just feel like I'm translating negative to positive through sound vibration, if you want to take it to that, you know. That sounds like kind of like meta and weird and like, you know, wish-washy maybe, but like like I don't know, like I think that's the thing for me. That's like I that's how I like to do it generally. But you know, I create in other ways too. Like I like to write a lot, and I like to draw too, and I think any type of creation that you can do will it just like almost for certain will help whatever you're going through. I believe. I sincerely believe that.
No, I think so.
I encourage people to just, you know, try out some different artistic mediums and see what you're into and see what you like, because it will provide you with you know, some sort of like, you know, positive frequency. I think
I'm of the school where it's like, if someone's putting their all into it, like if they're really working through something, like I'm going to appreciate it on a deep level, no matter what the like classical skill it has, whether like painting or stuff. Like I would much rather see someone just be like pissed off and like take a paintbrush and like slap it against a canvas. And like, totally. I mean, with anything, you can feel when it's like someone's genuinely doing something. Then someone who's like staring, trying to draw something with a lot of skill, but there's not like a soul in it, really. Like, I mean, that's, you know, I'm of the school where it's like, whatever you want to do, just do it with,
totally.
Do it with everything you got.
Could be art, and that's like
going to inspire.
Anything. Like some people's thing could be like, you know, exercising, or like some people's thing could be like gardening.
Yeah.
Or, you know what, like
nice.
You could definitely, I don't know. Yeah, like I think it helps to like broaden the horizon of what art can be, you know, and what possibilities there are for it. And, you know, just find it in, you know, something. It doesn't have to be like, you know, we tend to like box art into just like a few things for whatever reason, like drawing, painting, like music, you know. It kind of gets like caged into those things, but like I think there's a million ways you can find it.
Ways to create,
right?
And
I still want to explore a bunch of them personally.
Like there's each little like subgenre of art needs its own someone expressing it in a different way, you know.
Totally.
Be that whatever, hip hop, painting, whatever.
Sure. Yeah. Totally.
Yo, 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 yo.
Yes.
You want to tell the people about what we were just listening to?
Absolutely. I was just about to tell Trott about that song, School Spirit by Kanye. Apparently, so the sample is from an Aretha Franklin song, and apparently to clear the sample, she made him not swear on the record. So that's why you hear all his swear words just on that song on College Dropout, scratched out. You know, they're it's a clean version. So yeah, just a little like fascinating anecdote.
Yeah,
It was funny.
that's so cool.
Yeah, like you probably wouldn't notice listening through necessarily. Yeah, maybe some people would, but like you could listen to every song and it's all it's. Most of them are explicit. Most of them have swear words and stuff, and then that one is clean.
Yeah,
but he kept it. Yeah,
that's so funny
cool.
that's like Aretha's like one. You just can't curse on it.
Yeah, there like might have been money involved. And stuff.
Sure,
I'm
for sure. Yeah,
I'm sure there was, but like. Yeah, isn't that funny?
That is
no cursing on it. It's so funny.
That's interesting. I wonder why. Like
I know, right? What was the thing?
Yeah, I don't know too much about Aretha's personal life other than she made like amazing music, and some of it sounded like heartbreak, but she's always standing in her
uppity,
standing in her ground. Yeah, she's that's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, man, where do we want to go next? There's so many projects that you've been working with the last little bit. So we got Breakfast Boy Leisure League production on that. You got your beat tape coming out next Friday. Com Postables.
Yes.
Jungle Scraps Volume 1,
baby.
Coming out next Friday. You got Smyth and Estee, and that came out like beginning of this
January.
year.
Yeah, man, I'm just trying to get stuff out. Like hopefully this year I can put out 5 projects.
Wow,
that'd be really cool.
That'd be awesome.
Honestly, it should be wild. But yeah, it's just they sort of just develop, across a span of time, and then it's not super calculated like when they come out necessarily. I'm not like on TDE where they're like, okay, this album here, and they have the
but I mean it took them a while to get there.
But yeah,
they were just a bunch of friends making music, and then they sort of found Top Dog, Anthony and such, and then he kind of started doing the calculation, but it's not that, I mean, they're just music, and I'm sure they definitely have been pissed, where it's like, dude, I just want to, I'm done with this calculate, let's just put it out.
Let's just do it. Right. I mean, right now I'm just, I'm working on an EP. It's solo, all my own beats, all my own raps, virtually. I might have a couple features on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty much just a solo project, and I need it out because me and Brax are going on a tour this late August, early September.
Cool.
Yeah, so we're going on a tour up and down the West Coast. We're going like up north to Seattle and everywhere in between, Bellingham, Olympia, etc. And then down to California, Northern Cali. We're just doing, Chico, Oakland, Berkeley, Petaluma, bunch of little places in there.
That's
so
awesome.
I'm working on an EP to get to release in the next like 2 months.
Cool. That's awesome
to get out. Yeah. That's what's been
going up to Vancouver at all.
I don't
any out of US shows.
Not for this tour, but I plan to.
Yeah,
in the future for sure.
Yeah. Canada's got shout out to Drake just putting out that.
Did you listen to that? I haven't heard it yet.
I listened to like the first half of March 14th, so one track.
And
then like I was at work and I had to go, but like someone pulled up. It was like, time to go pump gas. Day job, doldrums.
Day job, doldrums. There you go. I heard.
I don't know. I mean, I can't really.
I heard
speak
Sandra's
on Drake
Rose.
and
I listened to it because DJ Premier produced.
That's what I was gonna say. I knew that someone big produced that. That I was thinking ninth. But
it's
Premier,
a Primo,
cool.
which is super cool. That I like. I think Drake respects the classics like more than.
The dude knows music. He knows music in and out. I mean, not even just like all like he knows what like helped make hip hop. I mean, he definitely. In and out.
And he knows soul and like
exactly
for sure. Drake's
I mean, he does
like,
R&B because he really knows. Like he knows his stuff.
Right. He does for sure. And it's a great song. He came with bars. He came correct. And Primo.
We got Smyth's co-sign up on that. So
it's so funny too. I'm known as a
out.
Drake hater. Like if I got any homies listening to this, they'll be like, "What?" And I've moved past those days. Let's say like I'm perfecally cool with Drake now.
Yeah.
No issues with Drake at all. He's dope. And
so for me, it's like anyone who like if I feel like they're respecting the culture, respecting the genre, respecting their place in it, and they just respect what they're doing, like I'm not gonna have a problem with it. Right. Yeah, exactly. I'm not gonna hate on that. Or
his music
like
might not be for me.
Exactly. I'm not gonna hate on, but sometimes if someone I feel like isn't respecting what they're doing, then that's where I'm like, oh man, this is just I don't want to listen to this. I'm not gonna support you in any sort of way.
Totally, man. Yeah.
But if someone, that kind of goes totally back to what we were saying earlier. Like if someone's putting their all into something, their souls on it, like I'm not gonna hate. I'm probably gonna be inspired in one way or another from it.
Absolutely, no matter what it is, for sure.
So with you're trying to put out more projects this year. You've already have three. The third will be coming out next Friday. So
yes.
So what do you feel like with technology and music being what it is now, and this sort of like McDonald's style of consumption with music, where it's just like dollar menu, you can just grab what you pick and choose, like you got singles, you don't have to go get this like nice meal and like eat it and be satisfied for a while. You're kind of, you just want more. So
I love the food analogy. I think that's
not mine, by the way. Mick Jenkins mentioned it.
Nice.
McDonald's being a plug.
To Mick Jenkins.
I think it's on a song called Plug or something. I don't know. Mick Jenkins is great, but with that like style of or that place that music is in right now, like what are your thoughts on that?
Man, I love that analogy. Music is for sure like a diet, and I think the best, most healthy way to do it, if you will, is to like seek food on your own and grow your own, maybe, and make your own garden out of it, right? If we really want to take it there, like I think. You can't digest only candy because that's gonna, have some bad long-term / short-term health effects. And that said, like I do think it's cool to indulge sometimes. When you go out with your friends, it's like, let's get some ice cream and stuff. You know what I mean? And there's space for everything in the music world, right? There's space for the party cuts that just that bang at the club and stuff. For sure. And then there's space for like music that, and I think with like the Brax album, we sort of lean more on this side that you should just listen to alone in headphones, like you know what I mean? And it may come off as pretentious to call certain music like this is your vegetables and this is your like candy and whatever. you know, but I think it's cool, like, if it has, like, kind of a deeper message that you have to decipher / lyrics that you have to do some research for, maybe it'll, like, that to me feels like it would taste more hearty and like, you know, some
more meaning with
it. Right, have some more, exactly, have some more meaning with it, or like you were maybe insinuating, like, a big meal, you know, like, this is like a big, you know, like, big course meal with, like, some stuff. So yeah, I think it's an interesting time we're in, because a lot of people, I think it's easier and easier. We have more and more access to the candy and the bad. You can really go all in with this if you want. The bad food industries are pumping this food into
so
our
I do like where
right.
Sort of what I meant though is like like just it seems like MCs and rappers are expected to put out music so frequently now, and no one's like digesting the music that comes out. So like with this like rapid output that is expected like from the fan side, where people, you know, someone will put out like a quality project and like 3 months later people are like, yo, where you at, dude? Like, I'm trying to. So just what are your thoughts on that aspect of it?
Man, I was thinking about it today, honestly. It's like, it's definitely a game where, you know, whether people are conscious of it or not, I feel like, you know, like, sometimes we're conscious of it, sometimes we're not, but everyone's trying to keep up with everybody and with, like, the, you know, like, massive output of what's happening. And a lot of people equally are trying to keep up with, like, the trend and, like, what, you know, what people are buying, what people have, you know, been consuming, right? And man, I'd like to say I don't try and, you know, necessarily keep up with it, but I feel like if you're on, you know, social media and what, I don't know, also, like, it inspires me that like it inspires me when I see people like put out something and like they already have their next, you know, stuff in the works. Like I'm also inspired by that. So maybe, you know, it's not all just like, you know, this like rat race where it's just like we're just kind of pedaling through it at full speed.
No, there's good and there's good and there's bad.
There's good and there's bad, but like I definitely see value in, you know, taking your time to really like ruminate on bigger ideas and let them happen. You know, a great example for me is D'Angelo. That's one of my favorite artists ever. And he only has 3 albums out, and the first one came out in '95, so it's been like 23-ish years, and only 3 albums in that time. But I mean, you ask almost anyone, and they're all gold. Like they're all like 10 out of 10 classics.
Yeah.
Like just.
I mean, anyone that's not gonna call, you know,
albums.
Brown Sugar and Voodoo. I mean,
and Black Messiah too. Like they're just phenomenal albums. So like, you know, you sort of. I that's not to say I don't think people can't put out quality and quantity. Like people, you know, there's a lot of people who put out a lot of stuff, and it's all, you know, pretty darn good.
Sure.
And you know, I'd like to be able to do that to, you know, just to get as much stuff out there as I can. Like I you know, I definitely, you know, like putting stuff out and like, you know, exploring different sounds and just being able to put that out. And it's cool to like see like kind of a chronology of like what of your projects. And like I like you know, for better or worse, I like sort of dreaming of like the timeline of like all my projects and like having like, you know, a big catalog and stuff. Like I like that. I like thinking about that stuff. But like, it's you know, it's definitely, you can definitely get sucked into the game these days.
Totally.
It's just everyone's just pumping stuff out.
Do you find that, is there something that you do that helps you like stay with the music and sort of stay grounded in why you love it? And not get lost in other, like, for you, what is that?
Man, for me, there's probably not a lot of, like, specific things I can like point to, like not necessarily any like rituals or meditations that just like keep me, you know, grounded. Like, you know, some little things, but like I'd say one piece of advice, and this is, you know, sort of on that wave, but one thing that I've been doing a lot lately that I think is important in the creation process. And one of my favorite producers, Jay Zone, he's a great writer, producer, rapper, and just a dope hip hop figure who's been around since the late 90s. What he says is, when you're making an album, don't listen to anything. Just try not to pay attention to what is happening in the genre of the music that you make, and like what people are doing. And I think that could go for like what people are doing in terms of output, like how much people are putting out to. I think he meant mostly like sound, like what sounds are. Sure. Because you're just implicitly gonna try and upkeep with what other people are doing. That, you know, that'll leak into what you're doing. And I don't know. I don't think that's sustainable. You kind of get caught in trends, and I don't think you'll look back and be like, oh, like this is super me. You know, this was super me at that time. I was killing it. And I want to be able to look back and be like, yeah, I was pushing the envelope. I was making some weird stuff. I was
making, you know, what you wanted to hear.
What I wanted to hear, making some unique stuff, pushing. Yeah, exactly. You know, being the change. Like you know, I go, like, I'm trying to get people to hear what I like, sort of. And I think it's really cool when someone likes what you make and you wouldn't necessarily expect them to like what you make. And I think it's cool on the basis of they like what you're inspired by. Yeah. So it's a weird way of channeling what you were inspired by and getting other people to enjoy the records you were listening to and such. So I've just been listening to a lot of like 70s funk and soul to get inspired for my album. And, you know, if people dig what I'm doing, then I'm like, dope, like you can dig these ill records that I was listening to, like that, like you could, you know, like that's cool. You have the capacity to enjoy this, and it especially coming from people who have been listening to, I don't know, like indie or like whatever, or trap, or like whatever's just, you know, happening now. Sure. Like, because like, yeah, I'm always trying. I'm sure you can relate to that. You're always trying to, as a DJ, as like a music, you know, indulger, you're always trying to put people on to what. Yeah, there's this low G and swarvy. You know, like, right. Like, it's dope. You know. Yeah. So we have a great opportunity with it. Sorry, I took that to like a different place, but
music is in a interesting spot with like how much is being put out, and I think that there's a lot of benefit to it, and that there's you know, the potential for artists to get lost in that. So for someone who's like really talented to get lost in that. But I think that more than that, there's a potential for someone to like put out even more stuff that they're inspired by, and have people, like, if they're really just being inspired, share that inspiration.
For sure.
Even more so, two more things. Like, if they're putting out a lot of stuff that they're inspired by, like a whole variety of things, be that their friends, other music, you know, 70s soul funk, other kinds of art, conversations that they're having with people, whatever that may be, and then that's going into their output, you know, and it's all kind of just like this, like, open, the gates are open, you know, so to speak, where the inspiration is just like flowing like a medium almost.
Totally. And it's like whatever you're digesting at the time will sort of inevitably come across in what you put out, right? Like whatever like you said, your conversations, your daily life, what you're listening to, like that stuff will all kind of work its way into the record, or at least it should. So I think that's some good advice that, you know, Jay Zone has, because if you're just indulging on what's like trending and what's happening, then I don't know. That's just gonna come into
I
your
love
record and,
when artists will put out like playlists of what they were listening to at the time. Like
man, I should do that. That's a good idea.
Two that come to mind is like Mick Jenkins put one
cool.
out with his when he was putting together the healing component, and
Sick.
Frank Ocean put together one when he was putting together his, just stuff that they were listening to at the time, and it's always stuff that's like very different from what one might expect. Just very different from what the album actually came to be. Maybe what one would expect if they're really listening. Like, oh, this is sound. This sort of sounds like it might be inspired by this, and then lo and behold, that's what they're listening to.
Right. I think that's great. I think that's really beautiful. And it doesn't have to have like, it's almost better if it doesn't have like the obvious correlation of like the sounds. You know what I mean? Like it's like, like it's better if like the playlist of what they're listening to
sonically is different from what they put out.
Yeah.
You're like, whoa, this is
that's super cool.
Like, how did they were listening to that, but they came up with this?
That can be
really dope too.
So
do you want to play some more compostables?
Sure, man. You could throw one on.
Let's
definitely,
get.
Man.
How about so this is raw Taro Leaves. Compostables coming out next Friday.
This is one of my stranger beats I've ever made. I hope the people enjoy it.
This one is it's a good one. Don't touch that dial. That was raw Taro Leaves.
Yes.
Coming off of Compostables, coming out
July 6th.
This
Friday.
Next Friday.
Yes. Oh, big shout out to Siobhan Mead, who did the cover for the album. I was, I'm again, like, very lucky to know the people I know down in Eugene, work with these, local people on
different collabs. So that's a local artist?
Local artist. She's amazing. You can check out her work on Instagram at Gyoza Goddess. So Gyoza Goddess. And her stuff's really, really incredible. And I think she made like a cover that really, I think, represents like the sound to me. Like it just like the colors and everything of it. I think it's just great. I'm very, very lucky.
Yeah.
And I think that's super important. Personally, like I like covers can like set the whole mood for the album. You know what I mean? Like, because you see the cover before
the album comes
out.
Yeah.
And they say don't judge a book by its cover, don't trust it. Right.
Can't help it, though.
Yeah, but you can't help it. I mean, you're gonna make
natural.
an impression.
Yeah, exactly. It's an impression. It's not you may not judge it, but there's an impression made.
There's some impression. You can't not have a thought about it. Right. Yeah. So it like when the cover really represents the sound well.
So
I love that.
What do you feel about like visuals nowadays?
Oh yeah.
Because like music videos, I feel like they're in Well, I would just what do you feel about visuals now?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, they're insane. I think like it's a really cool like facet of the music. And I think they're getting just super creative. And
Yeah.
I'm blown away by some of the stuff that people come up with, and like I can't even like think where to begin when it comes to like editing visuals and like just coming up with those ideas. It's like it's just so beyond. It like baffles me. It's
when you're
beyond
making
me,
videos,
so cool.
Sure. When you're like getting videos, do you work with like the person who's directing? Do you like tell them what you want? Is it like
so far not a ton? I've only done 1/2 music videos
because you got
where I was in
plantain.
The plantain,
char.
The plantain char. Yeah, that video is like it was all like digitally edited by my friend Trevor. He's really dope and like you know. Digital. I'm gonna sound stupid if I try and talk. If I try and name all the terminology, but
sure,
you know,
yeah.
in digital mediums, he's really 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 dope. He did the that visual is all like it's just like shapes and colors shifting around. It's just super dope. But then I had a song called System Overload with Estee on our EP that came out last January, and there's a video director named Riley Brown up in Portland who does really, really phenomenal work. He's incredible.
Top notch.
Absolute blessing to get a visual from him. And I think, he was super like receptive and open-minded and just like able to like work with us, and he kind of wanted to hear what he likes when people bring ideas into him. Like he heard we sent him the song, and he was like, we sent him a couple songs, and we're like, would you want to do a video for any of these? And he's like, okay, this one. Like he knew, and he sort of had ideas like ruminating in his head, but he didn't necessarily like direct us on everything the whole time, like he for sure had the ideas, and he had certain things where he was like, okay, we have to, we got to do this. I have this idea, but so I wouldn't say like I haven't I don't know. I wouldn't say like I've like at all like co-directed or anything like that.
Sure,
like
yeah.
yet. I'd like to get into it though. I think I'd have fun.
I mean, if there's
it,
another element to the song that you feel like could be brought by a video.
Totally. I think that's a beautiful thing about videos is, they
I
can
think
really
it can bring a lot more meaning
They
to the
can,
song.
man. And yeah, definitely.
Or they can just be like really cool to watch. And it's like, oh yeah, like that was a really cool video, like you could tell they were having fun but like certainly System Overload felt like it had like a like it added to it with the the televisions and I mean just the style of it.
It's all
the
glitchy
overall
and, crazy
aesthetics of the video certainly had like added to the song. But it
sure,
can go
I think so.
really deep, to where the video it's like, whoa, that's not even like what the song's about, but it's telling like another layer of maybe what the song is about, but in a different way. That makes sense.
Sure. No, for sure, definitely. I think, like they could be, exactly, like side ideas that like sort of pertain to the song itself, but maybe pertain more to like the overall project. Like I think Kendrick's videos like are really crazy like that.
Some the For Sale one, like what's even going on?
They're so nuts. But yeah, I think visuals are super great, and I'm super stoked in the future to just like have more and just to work on more of those.
Do you think you'll do any more for the I mean, obviously sounds like you're real busy, but do you got any in the work for the Com Postables? Is that something you'd like to do?
I'd love to if someone like approaches me / if I hear of someone's work or something, if I find someone else I want to reach out to, then I'm certainly open to it. For my next project though, I definitely hope to have a music video out in the single within the next like month and a half or so.
So be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, be on the lookout. Absolutely.
Where can for any of the listeners out there, where could they maybe like be on the update with some of your stuff?
Totally. I'd say like the place I'm probably the most active these days is Instagram. I'm on the story occasionally and posting, once or twice a week usually, just with little updates on what I'm working on. And you can find that at Instagram.com/Smyth spinitch, and it's kind of a weird spelling. So I'll say it slow. It's SMYTH SPINITCH. So Smyth spin like a 360, itch like a scratch. So Smyth spinitch.
Nice.
You could find that's my username on a good amount of stuff on Twitter too. But then if you search like Smyth music on Google, I bet you could find it.
Totally.
It's not like the name isn't completely unique to me. There's some Smyth imposters. There's some other people who also have the name. Who maybe you'll. You might
and
hear
the Com Postable is going to be it's going to be up on all streaming platforms.
Yes, it'll be available everywhere. Cool. It's another beautiful tool of like the modern era. I can get my stuff out just distributed, not necessarily physicals because I don't have that kind of money. But
sure.
Soon, hopefully
maybe
in the future.
Could bootleg some cassettes for you.
Right.
We'll throw them around at your shows.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
I need to get on that. I need to get a vinyl pressing.
Oh, wow.
Do that.
DIY.
In the next like year or two, I really hope to have some wax out.
That'd be awesome.
But yeah, I mean, you can find me anywhere. Just
This has been beyond fun, dude. Thank you so much for coming on. I got like a million more questions I could like chop up.
Man, I appreciate it.
I had so much more about the music that's coming out that I wanted to ask. I got so much more just about like hip hop in general that I wanted to chop up. Hopefully you'll come back on in the future.
Man, it'd be a blessing, dude. For real.
Keep chopping it up.
You too,
thank you so
man.
much for the output that you've been giving the world. And for what you've been doing. It's inspiring.
Dude, you too,
it's
man.
Fun to
you too. Thanks
listen
for this
to it.
show and just keeping it going and all of that, man. Thanks for having me.
Of
Appreciate
course,
it.
yeah. So
appreciate it.
I think we got about 8 more minutes left.
Man, you gotta play something, man. Play.
Well, I got some records over there, but what I want to play is I got another one off Breakfast Boy Leisure League.
Man. Awesome. Okay.
This would probably be, like I said, there's a few tracks that I've really been enjoying. This one I think is like my favorite. Like I really like the Day Job Doldrums. I mean that one's just, it's a powerful song, but I think this one as like just the whole song, like I'm just feeling it.
Awesome.
So this is Unicorn off Breakfast Boys Leisure League.
Hey.
Peace, y'all.
Melts around me and soil shift beneath my feet and water change to fire. They telling me to take a seat. Respect the number that I pull from that ticket dispenser. You gotta be at least this hurt for you to enter. Having visions of some sweeter dispositions that be coming once I fix my limbic system. About to win until then sitting timid, fiddling and fidget spinning. Let me tell you how I'm living. I need GMO cruelty-free oil for my car, and certified organic coltan for my smartphone. We about to pop and knock open cities like those while we showing more styles than a lock show. Putting in work, I write my bars in the waste man's uniform. Play my position and excel like a unicorn. Yeah, think I'm Giannis Antetokounmpo. My favorite JLX songs, him rocking the group home. Boom, bash, dash, ooh, that's brag. Sweet as shit when you smell us, be like, who passed gas? I protect my homies like a first edition Charizard. And if you tried it at me with the left, it's getting armbarred. Don't disrespect the Breakfast Boys who leisurely be bringing you the steez while they switching up the frequencies. We could be mean as Pete Dunne if you start some, but show love, we sweet as Muscle Man hugging Starla. Bars, bruh.